Hello. Okay, next tutorial. This time I'm dressed up as a really gory kind of 1980s, more silly zombie I want to say. Kind of like those really cheesy, awesome, gory zombies that you see like in the background of Night of the Living Dead or something from Creepshow. Either way, it's incredibly gory and I had so much fun doing it. So, if you'd like to learn how to recreate this makeup for yourself, stay tuned. Okie dokie, so to get this big ball of gore rolling, I'm going to start off by explaining the beautiful, I say beautiful, relatively beautiful prosthetic I'm going to be using. Although you are quite beautiful. No, I mustn't get attached again. What? As you can see, it's more or less a full face foam latex prosthetic. This one is an FX Faces prosthetic that I got from mostlydead.com. I'll pop that link on the screen there if you wanted to check them out. I really do love them. There's also a cheeky link in the description bar below that they were kind enough to give me that will give you a discount off your order if you wanted to get something from them yourself. I've absolutely been dying to apply this prosthetic for a while because it just, every time I look at it, all I can think of is proper 1980s kind of like proper classic zombie type makeups. Just, I love it. Kind of also like Creepshow zombies, those kind of really over the top, kind of cartoony but really fun looking zombies. I just love this tongue. Oh, I'm so excited. It's going to be a really interesting prosthetic to apply because as you can see it doesn't cover the whole face. So I will also have a kind of normal area of skin on show, so that tells me that this isn't rot, this is kind of a fresh zombie that's been mauled across the face, because otherwise we'd have more like detail work up here as well. And look at these edges. Oh, they're going to be so much fun to blend. Oh, I'm so excited for this. There's so much detail and look at the neck. Oh, this is going to be so cool. So when I stick my foam latex prosthetics down, I like to use Prostick. It's just a really nice, strong prosthetic adhesive. And the plan with that is to take a cotton bud, dip it in some Prostick, and then when you're working with like a big prosthetic like I am, I like to apply it to the middle area first and then stick the prosthetic away. That way things line up nicely, there's no bubbles and there's no ridges in the seam. So I apply it to the middle area, so the nose of the prosthetic, let it go a little bit tacky over the course of 5 to 10 seconds, then apply it in the corresponding area, so my nose, just in the same area. Let that go a little bit tacky and then we can start lining it up and sticking everything away. So then, once everything is nicely stuck down, we can take another cotton bud and some more Prostick. We dip the cotton bud in the Prostick and we start really lightly rolling away along all of the edges of the piece just to blend them off and really seal them down. Make sure that when you apply them to the edge of the piece, you don't go back and forth, otherwise you'll just lift up the edge and we don't want that. So we just apply it to the edge, roll away, all the way along the edge of the piece, around the little areas around the mouth, and we don't really need to go around the eye on this piece because it's got such a thick sculpted edge. It's kind of meant to be hollow, so we don't really need to blend that area. Then, once the edges are nice and dry, we can work on colouring in the foundation. So I'm going to be working on the skin side of this first, and then we can work on colouring in the inside fleshy areas later on. Fleshy. So there are many different ways you can colour foam latex prosthetics. Most people would use like a Pax paint, so like adhesive and colour. I personally use alcohol activated palettes. Now I know that it can take extra layering, but I like using them and I really like the translucency of them. So for this particular look, I'm going to use a Neil Gorton's Life Colour palette. This is the Essential palette. It's just got a load of really nice skin colours in there and a really nice red. So we can just work with all these different colours, layering it up in different areas just to make it look a little bit more natural and less blocky. So to use alcohol activated palettes, spoiler alert, you're going to need some 99% alcohol, and once you dip a brush in the 99% alcohol, you can start activating all of these colours and then applying them onto the prosthetic. So I'm going to be using quite a firm, medium, fluffy brush. So I'm going to start by staggering a reddish colour all around my face so that both sides blend in. And then I can add some more peachy tones and some darker tones in varied areas so it looks more broken up and not a block colour. Because as you might notice, your regular skin tone isn't just one colour. It's made up of various different shades and there might be some, you know, broken capillaries and that kind of thing. So just make sure to work in various different layers, making sure it's dry in between and make sure there's not one area that's more favoured than the rest of the face. So then we can colour in the fake tongue, excluding the wounded area. So to do that, I'm going to be using the red tone from the palette, and I'm also going to be using a little bit of the brown colour as well, just to spackle it over the tongue afterwards. So then I'm taking a Cameleon watercolour in Bloodred, and I'm going to apply that in the entire wound area. So all around the tongue, going between the tongue, around the fake teeth and up the face and over the forehead. I'm also going to be colouring in my eyelid. Then I can take a black cream. I'm using one from Makeup Forever. This is one of their flash palettes. And taking that black cream, I'm going to apply it to the edges of all of these wounds and then blend it in towards the centre just a little bit. I'm also going to be applying it in some of the really deep areas of this prosthetic just to add that illusion of extra depth. Just make sure wherever you apply the black, you blend it out afterwards. So there we are. Hopefully you can tell what I mean by adding a lot of depth. It's nice just to sometimes use some different colours as opposed to just slapping fake blood on something. I just think it will look a lot more realistic that way. We can always add a tiny bit of fake blood just to the general area to give a shine, but we don't completely slather it in fake blood. So then we can colour in the fake teeth. So I'm not going to add too much colour to them, to be honest, because I quite like the yellowing of the natural latex as it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the black cream again and I'm going to score down the side of each tooth and just blend that towards the centre ever so slightly. The next step is completely optional, but it's something I like doing whenever there's a trauma makeup to one portion of the face. I like to even it out and do something on the other side. So I'm going to start by adding some bruising around the eye area. So for that, I'm going to use my Kryolan bruise wheel, and I'm going to take the dark purple from that palette, apply it onto my eyelid and slightly underneath my eye, and then blend that colour away following the natural contours of my face. Then I'm going to add some of this off yellow pigment to the other side of the eye, going just around the cheekbone and the brow bone area, then blend that towards the purple. And then I can add the red cream in the same areas where I went with the purple. Then I'm just going to add a few more cuts going across this side of the face. Nothing as drastic as this, obviously, but just a few little lines scratched across just so it doesn't look like it's completely isolated here. So it's super simple to do that. All I'm going to do is take a really sharp angle brush, and I'm only going to use the red and the dark purple from the Kryolan bruise wheel. I'm going to start with the red and I score across the face, going as straight as I possibly can, making sure to taper it inwards and taper it outwards. Then I go over the middle of that line with the dark purple just to add a little bit of depth. Okay, so as you can see, it's not particularly big or special in any way. It just kind of helps make a character out of this entire look rather than just having a completely plain side of the face. We can enhance this with some fake blood later, but for now I just want to work on a few little detail lines. So I'm going to take the brown cream from the Makeup Forever palette and I'm just going to do a couple brow furrow lines and blend them away. I'm also going to shade the temples and blend that away as well. So I'll start just by drawing the lines so you can see where I've gone, and then we can blend it out afterwards. So these are the lines that I've drawn. So 2 lines for the temples and 2 lines for the brow furrows. So the brow furrows I'm going to blend upwards until it tapers away. The temples I'm going to blend away, leaving the underside of both areas completely clean. So then, on to everyone's favourite bit, the fake blood. So as always, I'm going to be using some Superstar Stage Blood, and I'm going to apply it really lightly and sporadically over the wound of the mouth area. I'll also apply a tiny bit in each of the cuts. I really don't want to apply too much because I don't want to destroy all the detail work that we've done. I'm also going to stipple it over the edges of all of these little, and there's no other word really I could choose, so I'm just going to say it, flaps. I'm also going to stipple the fake blood over the wounds that I've added here as well, and I might have 1 or 2 little trickles of blood going down. Then finally, I'm going to take a fluffy brush, dip it in some water, and then dip it in the fake blood, and then start tapping it across this side of the face just to add a little bit of blood splatter in there. So then, all that's left for me to do is pop in some contact lenses, pop on a costume, maybe add some fake blood to my chest area, and we'll see what we've got. And there we go, that's my look, officially complete. So I finished the look off by going outside and spraying my hair with some black hairspray, not completely covering it because otherwise you wouldn't be able to pick it up through the backdrop, but I thought I'd make it black in various different spaces and just mess it up to make it look a little bit more in keeping with the look. I popped on a really old shirt that I just covered in fake blood just to match the neck. And finally I popped in 2 really bloodshot looking sclera contact lenses. And yeah, altogether that's my look. I do hope you like this makeup. I did kind of deviate from what I initially wanted to do. I was going to make a more cartoony zombie, less realistic and more kind of like B-movie silly zombie, but I kind of went a little bit more dark with it. But I think it came out pretty fun. Who am I kidding? It's nightmare fuel. But that's fun. And as an extra bonus, I'm about to jump over onto my gaming channel now, which is Pinkstylist Plays. I'll pop the link there on the screen and description bar below, because I fancy recording some gaming videos dressed as a zombie, because who wouldn't want to do that? I'm oddly excited. So if you wanted to check out any of those videos, the link's there. But overall, I really hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you liked my take on a really gory zombie. As always with any makeup that involves fake blood, I had so much fun doing it. If you did like this tutorial, please make sure to get out of the usual. Like, comment, subscribe and all that jazz. And yeah, so until next time, bye fluffies!